ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna is going on giving various secrets about the transcendental aspects. When we see the whole of Bhagavad Gita in various aspects, continuously we see a few aspects repeatedly being given. The whole thing, what we see, is the transcendental and immanent, which is the most important factor in our life and existence. When we come to the existential aspect, there are two existences, the transcendental and the relative existence. This we see very often. It is missing from all other religious centers. The term divine and spirituality is used in a relative sense, not in the absolute sense. And because the transcendental aspect of existence is missing, and unfortunately the scientific world has not been able to peep into that reality or that existence in which the whole universe appears and disappears. And millions of universes appear and disappear, what we call the Ananta Koti Brahmanda. This concept has not been. In Bhagavad Gita, when we come, we see repeatedly these thoughts are being the transcendental aspect of God and immanent aspect of God. God has become all this, whatever you can see, conceive and think of this universe, and beyond it exists. So the unchanging eternal reality, the transcendental, the ocean of bliss, peace, love, absolute, the pure existence, the pure spirit is different from the entire universe, and it stands there transcending the relative existence, which is this universe. We are in one of the universes. So many lives are there, and so many planes of existence are there. So many layers of existence are there. All these are left out, and science is busy with the physical, gross physical existence, which is a constantly flowing time and space bound relative existence. It is busy with the whole of the rest of the universe, even the part of the universe. Only we are able to understand a little of the physical existence, Bhuloka. There are higher layers or planes of existence, Bhuva, Swaha, Mahajana, Tapa, Satyam. Similarly, there are still lower levels of consciousness, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, all these aspects which we are totally missing. In the science, it has not yet grown enough to peep beyond the five senses. What five senses depict? That is their whole scientific world. And that too in waking state. The other states are there, other levels of consciousness are there. That is out of reach of the science because of its limitation to five senses and mind and intellect. The external world, a part of it alone can be perceived. Not only the universe, beyond universe there is existence, which is eternal, unchanging existence, the ocean of bliss, Ananda Sagara. Existence is consciousness, which is the ashraya and adhara of this universe. That is unchanging, this is constantly changing flux. As if that is ocean, these are waves. So, like that, the same thing is here in a different form, but as a manifestation, small, tiny manifestation of that absolute, without affecting the absolute, it remains. So this aspect, this is transcendental and immanent, and this we see again as the impersonal God and personal God. In Hinduism, the God concept is entirely different. The spirit which is independent of the universe, we call Brahman, the absolute existence in which the universe appears and disappears. It is an unchanging, eternal ocean of bliss, peace, love, absolute. Now, that we call as the impersonal God. God, the term God is always only thing what exists. Existence is God. All others are appearances. You exist, your body is an appearance to you in waking state. The world that you see in which you are living now is an appearance in waking state. If you leave that waking state, the world also disappears, your body also disappears. All these are appearances, but you, independent of the appearances, you have an existence who is going to perceive the subject. The whole universe and his own bodily existence are just, they are all objects. The subject is the Atman. So, like that, the God, impersonal, absolute, and the same pervading this universe, it pervades this universe and governs it, the consciousness. The consciousness which pervades this physical bodily existence of mind, we call Jivatman. Consciousness, Chaitanya pervading the individual is Jivatman. Pervading the whole universe is Paramatman or Ishvara, and which stands independent of these two is the Brahman, the absolute existence. So we divide God into two aspects: one, the impersonal absolute, unchanging eternal reality, the ocean of bliss, peace, love, absolute, and then the whole universe appearing in it, disappearing. Like a speck in the ocean, it appears and disappears. Like a dream world, it appears and dreams and disappears. Like that is this universe, appears and disappears. And here we see the consciousness or Chaitanya which pervades the universe, we call Ishvara, or the personal God. It is consciousness, it is Chaitanya which is making the whole universe conscious by his mere presence. So all this, the God, when we in Hinduism, when we say God, it is personal God, impersonal God. Personal God is the same Chaitanya, consciousness, pervading the universe and governing it. And the absolute existence, which is unchanging eternal reality, is impersonal God. Impersonal God Brahman, personal God Ishvara, and there are jivas like me, you, and all. There are innumerable lives. The consciousness pervading a body, a physical body. And the moment the consciousness pervades, or expresses through a body, it becomes alive. As long as the Chaitanya is expressing through a body, it is alive. The moment it withdraws, immediately this body becomes a dead body. So, expression of consciousness, Chaitanya, through matter is life. So, innumerable lives are innumerable. The consciousness pervading the body is called Jivatma. Ishvara, Jivatma, individual, cosmic consciousness is Ishvara, and absolute consciousness, unchanging ocean of bliss, Ananda Sagara, is impersonal God. Impersonal God, personal God, cosmic consciousness, absolute consciousness is Brahman. The consciousness which pervades the universe, cosmic consciousness is Ishvara. Individual consciousness is Jivatman. Jivatman, Paramatman or Ishvara, and the absolute Brahman. So these three aspects of Chaitanya existence. Now, as Jiva, I belong to that same category. That's also consciousness. This is also consciousness. I am also conscious. Now it is like a pot in a room. Now pot space, room space, and the beyond. Three spaces. Now pot space and room space are actually one in itself. Space cannot be cut. It appears to be dividing. The pot space is Jivatman. Room space is Paramatman. The space beyond, which covers both pot and the room, is called Brahman, the absolute existence. So, the absolute space, the room space, and the pot space. Like the individual Jiva, the cosmic existence, and the beyond. That is transcendental, immanent, and as indweller, God exists in this bodily existence of the Jiva. So these three aspects of I, so same space is there, infinite space, room space and pot space. Like the infinite consciousness is there, which is Akhanda, space is Akhanda, one space is there. It appears to be three. If pot is not there, room space alone is there. Room enclosure is not there, absolute is there. That's all. When the pot is there, then also absolute alone is there. When room space is there, then also absolute space alone is there. We differentiate as pot space, room space, because of the enclosure. This enclosure is called Upadhi. This Upadhi of body is creating individual Chaitanya, individualized Chaitanya. This pot is making space appear as limited, small. Room space. Room is making it a bigger, in which thousands of pots can be kept. So that room, space, the Chaitanya. So this aspect, the room space, pot space, and absolute space. So it becomes to space alone, to one space. So the individual consciousness, cosmic consciousness, and absolute consciousness, one consciousness, appearing as three because of my identification with the body. So it's appearing as three. Now, I am that, I am this, I am Ishvara, I am the absolute existence. If I remove this cover, this limiting cover, the bodily identification, if I leave, if pot forgets its pothood, then it is room. It's room space. Pot space, if it forgets the pot, it is room space. That is what happens when we sleep. We forget the body. And only room space is there ultimately, the second stage of deep sleep. Similarly, after realization, the room space also disappears and absolute space is there. So now I understand but I don't experience. I don't experience myself to be a part of Ishvara. I don't experience I am part of this absolute existence which seems it is there, scriptures say, and realize say, I don't even understand what it is, the beyond, the transcendental. But they say it exists. Infinite space is there, they say. So how can I reach it? How can I realize it? This question, when it appears, how can I realize the absolute existence? How can I realize the Ishvara? How can I realize the absolute existence, the Satchidananda Sagara? Then the identification you have done with the body, same way, how did you identify with the body? Like that, slowly identify with the room space, that is Ishvara. Build up a relationship. How you entered into the world. You built up a relationship, you built a friendship. So many things you built up yourself. So many skills you acquire. And you become a part of this world. Like that, now you have to build up your relationship with God, with both, with the relative and with the absolute, with the personal God and with the impersonal absolute. You are that. So you develop and then you will identify. One day you will identify what it is, you will realize it. This process of identification or search or inquiry into the reality is called dhyana, meditation. Sri Ramakrishna is teaching meditation to one of the devotees, privately taking him to the northern veranda. So here meditation is a process by which I want to detach myself from the bodily existence and enter within to search for my own real existence independent of body. The moment the pot searches for who am I in this? Am I this clay? Am I this color put on that? Am I this shape? What am I? When the pot starts inquiring, he'll finally find, I am this space. The moment it understands its space, oh, I am Akhanda, I am room space also. I am the absolute space beyond the room also. Immediately realizes. Like that, here I try to search for myself. I take an inward journey, enter into, try to go deep within and search, try to attain it. I want to transcend the relative existence, see the beyond. So I meditate upon the Ishvara, the personal God and the impersonal absolute. Sri Ramakrishna is teaching how to meditate on that personal. He is teaching the pot how to meditate on space. First, two spaces are there. Because you are a pot, you have to think of space as again limited and unlimited. To know the real space, because you pot space, you are unable to come out of the pot space, my child. You are identified with the clay. You are called, I am the clay. Now you see, are you the clay or are you the space? If you are space, how big space you are? There is a bigger space, the room space, still bigger space, the infinite space beyond. So we try to, now this space starts searching, what is that space? Oh, how am I related? How my space? First it searches for its own space. That is called spiritual awakening. Then it starts searching for the next, which is bigger space than me, myself. Then he sees room space is bigger than his individual space. The moment the room space he is realizing God, personal aspect. Saguna Sakara Rupa Darshana. He enters into, the moment he understands what is room space, it has already come to the understanding of what is God. What is this realization is called Savikalpa Samadhi. From there, he tries to meditate on the impersonal absolute. There we, after attaining that, what is that space, infinite space, then he awakens to a new dimension and he sees himself to be absolute existence, infinite, eternal existence, unchanging, eternal reality, in which all this universe, room space, spot space, all are just appearances. That absolute existence we call Tat. Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Devi. Tat. And the whole universe is called Idam. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Whatever you see, this whole universe is but Idam. Beyond is called Tat. Om is represented, the process of manifestation as well as the dissolution and what exists after also. So here we see the personal meditation and impersonal meditation. So Sri Ramakrishna is teaching that these two aspects of meditation, dhyana, he introduced the devotee about the meditation on personal God and the impersonal reality. Now for making the pot space, pot to find its own space. What are you from within? It says, I am a small space. Oh, you have come to that stage of spiritual awakening. Now you have to, why the devotee, Sri Ramakrishna is telling about the personal aspect of God and impersonal aspect, how to meditate on the impersonal and personal, because he is either in the borderline or the threshold of the personal, or he is a efficient person who can enter into the transcendental realm or know the impersonal and personal aspect is ready. That is, a pot has come to know I am space. Then your space you know now. Now you can know what is this room space also. You know what is space, then you can know the room. How do you do? Oh, room is like this. Oh, it has bigger dimensions. All the sizes of the dimension he goes on giving. Now when we see this, this is the personal God. We give a form, we give a name, we give so many qualities. All this one. Now, most of the religion cling or stick on to this level of consciousness. That is, there is God who has got so many qualities. Nama, Rupa, Guna. He has form. And he has the qualities, Guna. Some of the religions, they don't believe in the form or they don't keep touch with the form. They drop away the form but keep the Guna. It is philosophically, it is not acceptable because Gunas alone cannot fly about without a Adhara. Hot, cold cannot remain there without a Adhara. What is hot? Is it air that is hot? Is it atmosphere that is hot? Is it iron that is hot? Or what is hot? Now, if this question, no, nothing is there, nothing is hot, but hot here alone is there, heat alone is there. No, it cannot, it is a quality, it cannot move about here and there, flying about like a bird, without any adhara, ashraya. Heat means there is some ashraya, some basis on which it is expressing itself. Now, water is hot, hot water, cold water, the temperature, room temperature. When we say room temperature, it is room temperature, a person's temperature, body temperature. So temperature, heat has got some adhara, like that the qualities of God cannot move about without a adhara. Whatever be adhara, perceptible or imperceptible. In philosophy and psychology, we get the two terms, phenomenal and nominal. So these two, when we say phenomenal, nominal. Phenomenal, when we say, it refers to the which can be conceived and perceived by mind. The other opposite to it, nominal, when we say, it is mind cannot conceive its existence. If mind cannot conceive beyond mind. So these two aspects, mind cannot conceive. There is an existence which mind or senses cannot conceive. The nature is phenomenal. God is beyond phenomenal. So here this personal and impersonal aspect come into the phase here. So when we think of the personal, we always, there is a adhara, whatever be, you can take with form or without form. But without form is, it is already taken form in mind. If mind can conceive, it has already taken form, because mind has conceived it. Like love, patriotism and all, yesterday we discussed. So this aspect, love is good, love others. When you say love is, conceive what it is, what is to love. So that means it is already saguna sakara. It is saguna sakara. So akara, mind has taken already. When we say nirguna nirakara, it is inconceivable by mind. So here we differentiate the personal God and impersonal, absolute or impersonal God. So when we say the room space, now you are part space, imagine, now you meditate on the room space, that you totally forget the clay existence and you become one with that. So saguna sakara rupa, God's form or with qualities we think of Him is saguna sakara, and beyond is nirguna nirakara, without form and without, it is inconceivable by mind and senses also. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.